Simple way to sketch to achieve accurate resemblance for beginners. Hi guys, I'm Logo. In this video, I'm going to teach you the right way to sketch to achieve the right resemblance easily in your drawings, and how to also shade your drawings correctly using the grid method. Let's jump right in. Let's start from the cheek. We are first going to target the highlights. Now look closely to this horizontal line, close to the nose. It moves all the way and intersects at this point. Now let's identify that on our reference photo. Now here it is on a reference. You realize that around this point is the most received light. So this area becomes our highlights. So what is the next thing to do? The next step after identifying the grid is to use your pencil to mark out that portion to preserve it. Now you'll be asking, how can I identify the right place to mark? That's when the grid comes in. Before you draw a line using the grid method, first identify any point of intersection in that area on your reference photo and identify the same position on your drawing paper. Now, after identifying the points, the next step is to use your eyes to measure the spaces between them in case you need to draw a line between them. So what do I mean by that? Let's look at this. In case I have these 2 points here and on my reference picture, I need to draw a line between these points to represent a shape of a nose or something else. What I will do is that I will look on my reference photo and compare the spaces by the line I want to draw, and if they are equal, I will represent that on my drawing sheet. Or the same way, if one side is bigger, I will represent that on the paper, or vice versa. So far, I hope you are understanding my analysis story. That's just by the way. Now let's come back to our drawing. So I want us to draw a line to pass through these points. So I will first of all compare the size on my reference. Then I will represent that on my paper. Simple. So basically, that's how I'm going to represent all the tones in this drawing. Now let's move to the forehead. We are going to use the same formula. You will compare the position of the line you want to draw on the reference photo and represent the same thing on the drawing sheet. Don't forget, while you are drawing, make sure you are also referring to the reference photo. If you are new to this channel, I help beginners and art lovers grow their talent with simple tutorials. Feel free to type any kind of tutorial you want me to help you with in the comment section, and consider subscribing as well to be part of this family. You can see that there is a bigger circle and a smaller one inside. That is because they have two different tones. The bigger one represents the middle tone, while the smaller one also represents the highlight. Now let's descend to the right cheek and also using the same formula to draw this line. Then we will move to the nose. When you come down here, there is a line that separates the two tones here. We wouldn't like to miss that. It also contributes to the resemblance. So while you are doing your sketch, you will be referring to your reference photo to make sure the lines are passing through the right places, or else you will mislead yourself. And this has happened to me countless times when I started using grid method. So I wouldn't like you to be experiencing the same thing, so pay attention. Now with the nose, This highlight is very important. To me, that's what makes the nose stand out in a 3D form. I don't know, but this particular highlight really means a lot to me, and I don't joke with it. Doing without this particular highlight, the nose might look flat, which wouldn't make it look too realistic. So please pay attention to that. Now let's come to the lips. Many beginners fail to represent highlights on the lips, and at the end it comes back to hit them hard. Sometimes you feel it's nothing, but it's very important. You need to represent each highlight at their right places in order to get your resemblance. To me, the highlight on the lips, the nose and the eyes are very important to me because those are the main features of the face. So I really pay attention to that. Just look on your reference and try to represent the same thing on your drawing sheet. Just not to forget the various positions of the lights. Again, to me, any line or mark on the face, I try my best to represent them in order not to struggle with getting their right position during the shading process. Now the eyes. Try to represent the light in the pupil of the eyes just to preserve it. Now we are done with the sketch. Let's move to the shading. Now let's start shading using our brush and charcoal powder. This is my highlights, middle tones and dark tones. They have been carefully preserved for future use. Now, since my highlights have been preserved, I'm going to focus on building my layers correctly without worrying much about my lights, because I know I will surely have the chance to bring them back to life. No, please relax. This doesn't mean you should shade over your preserved highlight completely or totally avoid shading over that particular area at all. The first rule is that shade on them, but it shouldn't be equal to the other areas because you created them for a purpose. The second rule is that don't leave the preserved area blank or completely untouched, or else you might not be able to create the highlights when using the eraser. So gradually blend into it, but just be careful. Don't do it too much. This is the type of brush I'm using. It's a soft brush. You can get it in the market or simply get a similar one at any art shop around your area. Whilst I'm doing the blending, I'll be making sure the outlines for any highlight doesn't disappear. So I will make a conscious effort to maintain that, or else I will be totally lost. One other tip you need to keep in mind is that for you not to keep the shape of the hairline missing during the shading process is always remember to use your charcoal pencil to create some marks in the place of the hairline to maintain it permanently. This saves you from hassling to look for the hairline after the shading. So take note, it's very important. So I'll keep on blending for a while with my charcoal. Then I use 2B pencil to shade on it to create an extra layer of graphite for me. This should be done gradually. Don't rush with it. Kindly like this video for me, please. It will help others to also discover this video. Thank you. When you are done, blend it with your soft brush. When you look closely, you realize that the outline for our highlights are too visible. So what we are going to do is that we are going to use our eraser to dab it slowly to take those lines off, just like how I'm doing it. Take your time with it, or else erasing it will be too visible. Then blend it with your soft brush. Now, before we continue, we have an art class on WhatsApp where we teach beginners how to draw realistic drawing, or how to start drawing from scratch completely. Or maybe you need an art coach to guide you through your art journey, or how to even sell your artworks. This class is for you. It's only $3.5 monthly subscription. This is almost free. Honestly, you won't get this anywhere, only on this channel. Now message us on WhatsApp if you are interested and we will add you to the class. Simple. You're welcome. Now, this is where the magic happens. Use your Tombow eraser to create the highlights. Note, you can use any eraser for this. I just love Tombow eraser because of the results it gives me compared to the other erasers. I wouldn't recommend anything bad for you, right? If you need one of these, message us on WhatsApp on the number on your screen and we will deliver to wherever you are. It should be in the form of erasing something. Don't press your hand too hard, or else it will create some kind of sharpness at the very edges. So it should be very light in order to blend into the other layer to create that realism. So imagine, for instance, we didn't create any layer of shade at this particular area. This is why even if that portion is your most received light, you need to create a layer of shade there in order to be able to pick it up with the eraser for your drawing to look more realistic. So when you are done, you will finally blend it slightly with your brush. Now, this is our final result. If you like this video, kindly hit the subscribe buttons on your right for more tips and arts, and we will meet in the next video. Thank you.